the efforts that we're making collectively to bring and be the difference maker, the miracle maker on all levels has to involve a shift within you, this incredible shift of a spiritual shift, a mental shift, an emotional shift, and a physical shift. What's the quickest way that you can shift all of the chaos in the world and bring the greatest freedom possible? Where you begin with yourself. And so this week, Greg Larson, who's the co-founder of Miracle Makers, began a challenge called the 10-day Master Cleanse Challenge, the Lemonade Challenge. And this is on purpose. Every year for Greg's birthday and for my birthday and for the kids' birthday, we gift something or to some community or give in some way. And this year, we're like, what's the thing that we can give the most? And it was really being spiritually cleansed, being mentally, emotionally, and physically prepared for what comes next. And so very quickly, we put this together so that others could join us as well. You transforming yourself to have, what do lemons do? What does cayenne pepper do? What does maple syrup? And of course, you've got to have some sort of bowel movement enhancer and a salt flush on a regular basis. It's already explained a lot of it. Greg's already explained. I do a modified version. I still, as much as I love the Master Cleanse and as much as I love, I'm not a rule follower. I'm an intuitive. And so I follow this intuitive guidance that I know. And I fasted, eating disorder. I had an eating disorder for a number of years. So it's really important for me to not get stuck on rules. That was part of my eating disorder. So for me, I will have small amounts of coffee. For me, and for clients that are doing this with me, I will recommend different things. I'm still meeting with people on a regular basis. And so I do this, in my hand is fennel, so that I have fresh breath. I didn't want to put it back into my container. So that I have fresh breath during the fast, during the cleanse. I've got fennel with me. What's important during this time is for you to begin seeing yourself as the third side to the chaos that's out there. If you begin to see synergy, the possibility to go to your local police office, the police center, or your local fire department and set up a table and offer people lemonade, the lemonade cleanse, or offer to listen to their stories. It sounds crazy, right? It sounds crazy during this time frame. You can do this in such a manner that you are a safe distance. We've got to create the movement in your mind. So you don't have to do it while you're on the cleanse, but just imagine in front of police stations instead of in front of fire stations. Imagine taking a walk in the neighborhoods that have been looted. Imagine seeing all of the cities that we're in opening for freedom of speech. The easiest place to start, the safest and easiest way to do this is to imagine it, to see it, to feel it, to embody it, to become the third side while you are doing the cleanse. Let me say all of that another way, because this is so important to understand. While you're at home taking care of your body, the physical, you're preparing yourself emotionally, mentally, and spiritually for the work of creating the third side in the race wars, in the COVID wars, in the rights, in our rights, in our human rights, the freedom to gather, the freedom to be, freedom of speech, to post and connect and create. So you, whether it's once a day, instead of having a meal, you cut up a lemon, you juice it, you add it to water, you add cayenne pepper to help cleanse, as hot as you can stand it, but not so hot that it hurts. A little bit of maple syrup, grade A organic maple syrup. You substitute one meal for that. And as your body is feeling hunger, you imagine the emotion, you imagine the mental clarity, you imagine the spiritual growth of your local police station, your local fire station, your local neighborhood that might be looted or hurt. You start by, Greg is hardcore. Greg is, from the time it starts to the 10th day, he's got a lot of physical mass to him. So there's a lot of purging and cleansing. For me, I'm mostly emotional and spiritual. Those are the places that I live in. I can go days without eating. Sometimes my clients used to bring me food. When I was living between two cities, I'd forget to eat for days. It's because physical body hasn't been important to me. Before I started eating and being healthy on purpose, I had an eating disorder. So a great deal of tolerance for not having food. The importance of that for you is to understand this. There is no right way or wrong way to do anything. For Greg, it's really important to do it his way, the master cleanse, the way that it was written by Stanley Burroughs. For me, it's really important to do it in a way that maximizes for me what I'm here to do in the world. Bring together a small group of organized, committed people together to transform without ecological offense, a world that works for all of us. And oh my gosh, when Greg first moved away to Minnesota several years ago, he and the kids moved, and I was in an emotional crisis. I wound up eating ice cream all the time. On the drive home, I would smoke cigarettes. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not who I am. I don't want to be. I was living in Los Angeles. Greg was living in Minnesota. The kids were in Minnesota. Every week I would get on a plane and go back. But I went from having 4 of us in a bed together to barely having a bed in Los Angeles. And so when I was leaving the office, headed to the room that I'd rented, I would stop and get a pint of ice cream and cigarettes. And I knew that's not me. That was not serving anyone. So I started and did a 40-day cleanse, which was amazing clarity, ability to hear others' thoughts. I already have that, but it was so tuned in. This ability to construct new energy in the environment by laughter, by joy, by imagining it, by intending it with my heart. When you're clean in that physical space, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, all of these great luminaries fasting. Great luminaries of our time fast and recommend intermittent fasting. Code Pink actually recommends fasting for peace. And fasting is a way to affirm your commitment to peace. There's something that you have to do for yourself. There's several different kinds of fasting. There's the juice liquid fast, which is what we're doing, right? And this is important for you to run it by your healthcare provider. I do not recommend fruit juices for a cleanse, but I do recommend vegetable juices. And I do recommend smoothies if you're not going to do the master cleanse. But the master cleanse is so beautiful for so many reasons. If ever you're going to do a cleanse with a lot of greens, a vegetable, you have to be careful because of all of the toxins coming out at the same time. This is why it's recommended that you have some form of something to move your bowels. And intermittent fasting, that whenever you're hungry, when you know if you're fasting, when you know you're hungry, you know you're on edge, you're more irritable, so you have to use more of your emotional, mental, and spiritual resources to continue to be at peace, so that at any point or at any time that you're brought with conflict around you or chaos around you, you've already built a muscle for 10 days to have a repertoire of emotional responses. The first few days are the hardest to figure out those responses. How are you going to respond? It doesn't matter what happens, it's how you respond to it. And right now, the response to George Floyd is lockdowns, is rights being taken away, is the guards being called in very, very quickly. It's very important to understand your rights are being taken right now. COVID-19 did one thing on the medical, physical level. Now, George Floyd, this on an emotional, mental, and spiritual level. You are being bombarded by chaos. And so you've got to go deeply inside to find your freedom, and find how to bring about the greatest good that can come through you. And so the cayenne pepper removes mucus, it heats your body up, it warms you up. Maple syrup has all of the amino acids in it. The salt water flush first thing in the morning helps. Anytime you do salt water for your tonsils or for your mouth, so beautiful. Doing that for your entire digestive tract first thing in the morning when you've been sleeping and resting. And then even if you do it for one meal, you on a spiritual level are connected to a tribe, to a group, Miracle Makers, or the 10-day cleanse here on Facebook. And if you're in the 10-day cleanse here on Facebook, we're going to help you. We put this together so fast. I'm not even in Los Angeles. I'm in San Francisco. Greg's in Los Angeles. I've been doing this all the while, right? Incredibly. Today is technically really my first day. And it's the first day of the challenge. Greg, will you share more about the challenge, baby?
Yes, give me 1 second here to unpin you. Yay, woohoo. Well, the challenge is very simple. Don't eat food. Which, you know, for some people, it's like the idea of not eating food for 10 days is a bit intimidating in itself. But luckily, millions and millions of people have gone through this cleanse. And, you know, celebrities, Beyonce made it famous several years back when we used the Master Cleanse to drop 10 pounds for a movie role. So it's actually very, very popular cleanse or fast. And so it can be done. I've done it several times. I've gone actually up to 15 days without food. And so, and once you get beyond the first, I would say 3 days, you're a little low energy and your body's acclimating. But once you get beyond that, it's actually pretty smooth sailing. You can go back to, you know, normal activities. You're just normal energy. And so you just have to get over that hump. It's funny, today is Wednesday. We started on Tuesday. It's like, you just got to get over the hump. You know, I forget, Wednesday is kind of the hump day or something like that, getting through the week or the work week. Well, if you're doing the fast, the hump days are 2 and 3. Once you get past those, then you'll have some momentum for one. You know you can do it, and then you just got to know that at the end of the 10 days, your body's going to feel dynamite. You're going to shed weight. You're going to shed toxins. You're going to shed, you know, impacted stuff in your colon. You're going to feel just light, tingly is what I describe it. It's like every cell has been detoxed and it is vibrating at a very high frequency and it feels great.
So tell us about the 10-day Master Cleanse Facebook group, baby.
Yeah, well, on the group, you know, it's just designed to support people. You know, people are commenting, people are posting pictures of their juices. I'm in there live every day, and we'll be doing more as we go along. But it's just a place to, you know, because to do it by yourself, you know, it's not that you can't do it. I did it many times, but so it's just an opportunity to put a group together so we could support each other going through this experience. And so if you want to join in, there's still plenty of time. You know, even if you start, you know, I might be on day 5 if you start day 1. It doesn't matter. It's just a, you know, because the whole thing is getting over the hurdle of starting. Once you commit to starting, that's the biggest piece. And then once you start committing to finishing the 10 days, you know, whether you go 5 days or 7 days or 2 days, it doesn't matter. If you feel you need to come off it, you come off it. Where no one's going to, you know, look down on you or shame you for doing that. But the idea is just to really energize the commitment to 10 days, because that's, you know, they've done this for many years, since the 1940s, and that's what was discerned as the amount of time needed to complete the fast to have optimal benefits.
And so it's so beautiful. There are so many ways to wage peace. And fasting, right? Reverence for all living things, compassion for fellow humans, all of these different teachings, all of these different places have always had fasting as a way to get in touch with your compassion, as a way to get in touch with stillness, and a way to really become the synergizing energy that is required in the world. And so I'm excited for you guys to be here. We go from here on Facebook, which has general information, to directly answering your questions. Our Zoom meetings have somewhere, I think the most it's had is like 30 people. Right now, there's a few people on the Zoom. We keep them this way on purpose so that you'll be able to get your question answered. If you've got a medical intuitive question, if you want help understanding your relationships, if you want to ask what's going on with me and Greg, whatever your question might be, please join us. There's a Zoom link down at the bottom. And I love being able to tune like Edgar Casey. In 2003, I was still in the closet about my abilities. In 2008, I slowly started coming out of the closet of sharing that on a national global scale, that I see energy, that I communicate with the body, that I love being able to help you become a more efficient, a more peaceful, a more stress-free you. And the way that that happens is from you shifting a perspective. We call that shift in perspective a miracle. You're a miracle. You take a breath, moment by moment, your heart and all of your body is functioning for you. And literally, your body is tuned into the cosmos and tuned into the earth. Coming off of the master cleanse, you'll be tuned into the earth like never before. Animals that were in the regions that tsunamis or earthquakes happen, or volcano eruptions, those animals demonstrate behavior that gets them safe. So all free elephants ran uphill away from the beaches. All of the dogs, cats, birds, they let us know when earthquakes are about to happen. Your body is like that. It will be ready for everything. Everyone is energy. Everything is energy. And your body, cleansed, can read the energy. And the most beautiful thing about your energy is we love what we do here at Miracle Makers Academy. We're so great. I'm so grateful to have this ability. I teach it, and I believe everyone has this capability. And I believe that we are blessed. We're blessed because science and the Eastern philosophies, religion, everything is showing there is one way. And that way is your way for you. There are as many realities as there are people. The way you see the world, no one else sees it. And if you can bring yourself to tune with your body, to fully understand the transgenerations that are being represented in your physical body, if you can get that, if you can feel it and begin to move it purposefully in the direction that you choose. Wow, what a world you live in. What magical, mysterious abilities you have, until science starts quantifying and labeling it, and then we're like, oh, right? And a great example of that is a mom who can lift a car. We call that her child is stuck in a car. When interviewed afterwards, she says, oh, I just knew I had to do it. I wasn't thinking. She lifted the car, became the hero. Over and over again, parts of that's called hysterical strength. There's also hysterical paralysis. Over and over and over again demonstrated people that have nothing physiologically wrong with them, immobilized in a physical location in their body, whether full paralysis or an organ paralyzed. Hysterical paralysis. What you believe, the placebo effect, the nocebo effects, what you believe has an effect. And if you begin to fully understand that your body has secrets for you, those secrets are held within you to allow you to become the strongest, most loving, compassionate, joy-filled version of yourself. Fasting is a great way to connect to those special skills. You empty out what no longer serves you, all of the extra food or extra baggage or extra whatever. As you're detoxing your body, your emotions begin coming up. Greg and I just had one of the roughest 2 days of our marriage ever. All of the emotions and mental energy that needed to be detoxed, well, it came up, it erupted. I can't wait to tell you more about that tomorrow. Tomorrow we do the call-in show. This beautiful call-in show that we do for you, and we'll answer questions. Baby, you don't look so happy. Is there anything else you want to share before we jump off? You have to turn your mic on, baby.
Thank you, my love. No, we are good to go. I'm definitely happy. I'm just looking around on the screen trying to figure things out.
Got it. That's what that look is. Okay.
Yeah.
So there should be a link in Facebook for the Zoom meeting.
There is a link for the Zoom, and there's a link for the for the Zoom. Yep.
There's a link for the Zoom.
It's the bottom post. Yep.
Bottom post. And for those watching on Facebook, you're able to join us for the 10-day master cleanse. Baby, what does your page look like?
What does the page look? It's the 10-day master cleanse challenge. You just type that into this box at the top of Facebook in the search box. It'll pop right up.
And we are available for you for the next 10 days as we're doing everything else to create health and wholeness for your body. We do not recommend that if you're pregnant or nursing or under a doctor's care on a regular basis, you need permission to be able to do that. Nursing is not the time to do a cleanse. Your body is cleansing all the time. And so a modified version of that, we can answer questions for you in the Zoom link. If you're pregnant, again, not a time to do that. Definitely get connected. I said, I think in our newsletter, to your shaman, to your midwife, to your healthcare provider, to whoever it is that you trust with your health, licensed professional. All right, baby, anything else you want to share? So just before I have you share, anyone that joins us in the Zoom, I will be answering your questions directly about the master cleanse. I will also be answering your questions about the state of your health as a medical intuitive, anything that you need to know there. If you've always wanted to learn what the lines in your hand mean, I'm happy to share that with you. If you want to learn how to turn on your intuition and your senses to the next level, I'm happy to share that with you. If you want to know what a beloved is doing across the planet, I'm happy to answer those questions as well. Baby, so the Zoom link is right there. Anything else we need to add?
Oh, just click on the Zoom link and join us in the Zoom meeting.
All right, bye for now.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Ooh, the lighting, it continues to get even more interesting in here. I'm in Marin County. Marin County is one of my favorite places to be. And Greg is going to bring everyone on in a miracle, at what we call the Miracle Makers Bunch, or the Brady Bunch.